Welcome to the RAOB program's Exporting with the Standard Method demonstration. All features shown are available to the RAOB basic program. Let's first load a multi-sounding file containing 62 soundings from across the United States for the same synoptic time period. And now let's also make sure the standard export mode is set in the configuration section. To do this, we'll select the Options menu, then Program Options, and then the System Configuration tab. In here we see that the standard export mode is already set. Okay, now let's call up the export options by using the File menu and then select the Export Sounding Data option. And this is the standard export options panel. It is available with the RAOB basic program and can export any sounding data that RAOB can process. Before beginning, note the Advanced Export Mode button, which is only available with the optional Advanced Export module, which has its own video. Okay, let's begin by examining these export options. First, we need to decide whether to export just the plotted sounding, all soundings, or select a specific range of soundings. And for this example, we'll just work with the current sounding. Next, we'll use the default format option. We could use the old DOS program format, which is still used by many for its simple report structure, but note that this old format does not allow any parameter or unit options. So, with the default option set, we can click on this Data Options button to customize our report. We first see the Units tab. These options apply to all parameters exported. With the Coordinate Hemisphere Signs options, the All Positive option includes additional export characters for hemisphere designation, such as north, south, east, and west. If the plus and minus signs option is used, the north, south, east, and west designators are not exported. This option only works when exporting in a CSV spreadsheet format, which will be discussed next. And now, the next tab, Data Format and Content. We have two format options here, the text file and the CSV spreadsheet file. First, note that the text option only offers selections from this top portion of the panel, while the bottom portion is only available to the CSV format, which will be discussed later. So we'll first review the text format export options. Each one provides columnar type output, except the first one, the data for each level. When selected, the export will produce a matrix type output, where each line item contains the pressure level and associated data such as temperature, dew point, and winds. The significant levels option will produce pressure, height, and temperature values for each significant level. The indices option will produce a list containing 67 parameters, including CAPE, sweat, hail, lifted indexes, shear values, and many more. The European Severe Weather Indices option will produce values for the Boyden, KO, and S indices. The Fog Indices option will produce values for the Fog Stability Index, the Fog Threat Index, and the fog point temperature. The remaining three categories are unique in that their output varies with each sounding. Now let's look at the CSV spreadsheet file format, and notice that two things changed. First, the first and last options are no longer available for selection. This is because they contain multiple values for each line entry. Second is this unique set of options for exporting CAT, icing, and lightning data. In order to control the size of the spreadsheet file, you must define the top and base of the region to be exported. And you must also define the interval or depth of each reported layer. For example, here we already have a base of 0 and a top set at 5,000 meters, with an interval of 100 meters. And if we want to export CAT or turbulence data, then our spreadsheet will need 50 columns of data. Also notice that this export will report CAT values with respect to mean sea level heights. This can be changed to AGL by going back to the Data Units tab and selecting the AGL option. It's important to note that RAOB will report the maximum strength or intensity of the parameter being exported for each layer. For example, if the lower 100 meters of this sounding contain turbulent sublayers with light, moderate, and severe categories, RAOB would report the severe category in the first exported layer, regardless of the thickness of the severe category. That's why it's important to note that the smaller the interval used, the more accurate the vertical resolution of the export becomes. The last item we'll discuss is this Data button. When clicked, it presents help information, detailing how RAOB produces export values for each parameter type. Regardless of the parameter being exported, all output is numeric, and they all range from 0 through 7. For example, let's look at lightning. It's either a 0 for no value or a 7 for a yes value. And now look at cat or turbulence. Its numeric values range from 0 through 7, representing null through extreme turbulence categories. That completes exporting with the standard method demonstration. Thank you for watching.